Welcome to Ethiopia Insight. Today, we embark on a critical journey to shed light on the silent suffering of the Amhara people in Ethiopia. We invite you to engage actively, like, share, comment and subscribe to amplify our message. It's imperative that we inform global policymakers, especially those unfamiliar with Amharic, about the pressing issues in Ethiopia. Your participation is vital in our quest to expose the injustices and bring about meaningful change. Today, we bring to your attention a significant report from the European Centre for Law and Justice, titled The Silent Suffering of the Amhara People in Ethiopia, dated April 30th, 2024. This organization, an international non-governmental organization, is committed to the advancement and safeguarding of human rights both in Europe and globally. The report by the ECLJ on the silent suffering of the Amhara people in Ethiopia unfolds in a compelling three-part video series where we explore the profound complexities that define the Amhara's plight. Part 1, titled The Silent Suffering of the Amhara People in Ethiopia, Unraveling the Nation's Complex Political Tapestry, takes us on a journey through Ethiopia's intricate political environment, where underlying tensions threaten the nation's cohesion. In Part 2, Ethnic Bloodshed and Genocidal Tendencies, exposing the silent suffering of the Amhara people in Ethiopia, we face the grim realities of ethnic conflicts and the threat of genocide, highlighting the severe challenges faced by the Amhara community. Concluding with Part 3, Military Operations and Human Rights Abuses in the Amhara region, we expose the severe consequences of militarization and the critical humanitarian crisis in the Amhara region, portraying the dire situation of the people caught in turmoil. Embark on this revealing journey with us as we illuminate the obscured sufferings of the Amhara people in Ethiopia. Thank you for joining us. Remember, your voice can make a difference. Stay engaged, stay informed, and help us bring light to those who endure in silence. Together, we can foster a world where justice and human dignity prevail.
Part 1. Unraveling the Nation's Complex Political Tapestry. Introduction. Ethiopia is a country located in the Horn of Africa. It is home to a diverse array of cultures, languages, and ethnicities. With a history that spans thousands of years, the nation has undergone significant social, economic, and political transformations throughout its existence. Ethiopia is multifaceted and shaped by its rich history and its large ethnic diversity. Ethiopia is home to over 80 distinct ethnic groups, each with their own languages, customs, and traditions. The Oromo, Amhara, Somali, and Tigrayans are among the largest ethnic groups. While this diversity is a source of cultural richness, it has also been a source of tension and conflict, especially when it comes to the issues of political representation and resource allocation. Religion plays a pivotal role in the social fabric of Ethiopia. The country has the second largest Orthodox population in the world, numbering around 36 million people. With deep historical roots, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church has profoundly influenced the values, norms, and traditions of the nation. Islam, too, has played a similar role, especially in the eastern and southeastern regions where it's predominant. Other religions practiced in Ethiopia include Protestantism and, although not widespread, traditional African religions such as the Wakafana. Ethiopia has experienced rapid economic growth in recent decades, shifting from a primarily agrarian economy to an increasingly urbanized and industrialized one. However, problems such as poverty, unemployment, and income inequality remain largely unresolved. The majority of the population still depends on subsistence farming, and there is a significant gap between urban and rural areas in terms of access to services and opportunities. Government initiatives to promote development have led to a series of controversies, particularly with regard to land rights and population displacement. 1. The political context of Ethiopia. Ancient Ethiopian civilizations such as the Aksumite Kingdom, the Zagwe dynasty or the Solomonic dynasty were characterized by monarchic political structures. This long-standing monarchical tradition was disrupted in 1974 with the deposition of Emperor Haile Selassie I by the communist Derg regime. The Derg regime was characterized by a pronounced authoritarianism and widespread human rights abuses. Its rule came to an end in 1991 when the Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Democratic Front, EPRDF, seized power. The Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF, was the dominant member of the EPRDF coalition and wielded significant influence over the political landscape of Ethiopia. Under this leadership, Ethiopia adopted a new constitution that established the country as a federal democratic republic. The new political system divided the country into regional states based on ethnic lines, thereby intertwining ethnic identity and politics. While this structure aimed to address the diverse ethnic composition of the country, it has been a source of tensions and conflicts. Under the governance of the EPRDF coalition, Ethiopia has witnessed significant strides in poverty reduction, infrastructure development, and sustained economic growth. However, these developmental achievements have been overshadowed by the government's authoritarian tendencies. The EPRDF systematically excluded its opponents from Ethiopia's political landscape and engaged in brutal repression against dissenters and public protesters. These actions sparked widespread civil unrest, with significant protests erupting nationwide from 2016 to 2018, calling for an end to authoritarian practices and advocating for political reform. This period of intense civil discontent led to a pivotal shift within the government, notably marked by the appointment of Abiy Ahmed, an ethnically Oromo leader, as Prime Minister in 2018. After coming to power, Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed dissolved the EPRDF party to form the currently ruling Prosperity Party in 2019. Initially, he was regarded as a beacon of hope by many Ethiopians and received international support. Notably, he was awarded the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize for formalizing a peace treaty between Ethiopia and Eritrea in 2018. Despite the early optimism, not all was positive in the aftermath of the transition. Under Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's leadership, serious human rights issues emerged. In the initial years of his tenure, the country grappled with atrocities where, oftentimes, security officials were criticized for their inadequate response in protecting civilians. Furthermore, in 2020, a grave conflict erupted in the Tigray region, the northernmost part of Ethiopia, pitting the Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF, against the federal government's Prosperity Party. This conflict eventually involved a number of players and led to a humanitarian crisis before ending with a truce in November 2022. Nevertheless, the country continued to witness mass atrocities elsewhere in the country, predominantly targeting the Amhara ethnic group. These acts were primarily attributed to armed rebel factions, notably the Oromo Liberation Army, OLA. Amidst these tensions, in April 2023, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed announced plans to disband the Amhara Regional Security Forces, known as the Amhara Special Forces, ASF, intending to integrate them into a centralized army. This decision was met with significant resistance from the Amhara community, who, already subjected to severe persecution, protested vehemently. They feared that the dissolution of the ASF would exacerbate their vulnerability and expose them to further violence. Following this decision, a considerable number of former ASF members defected to join Fano, a decentralized militia already operating in the region composed mainly of young volunteer fighters. This situation led to a significant deterioration of the security situation in the Amhara region, culminating in the declaration of a state of emergency in August 2023. 2. Background of the Amhara population. The Amhara people are the second most populous ethnic group in Ethiopia and have played a significant role in the country's history. Most of the population resides in the Amhara region, located in the north-central part of Ethiopia. They speak Amharic, which is arguably the second most spoken Semitic language in the world. Over time, the language has transcended its regional boundaries to become a lingua franca across Ethiopia. In the medieval era, rulers from the Amhara ethnic group are credited for being pivotal to the creation of Christian kingdoms within Ethiopia. This influence continued into modern times, as Amhara leaders played a key role in shaping the political and administrative structure of modern Ethiopia. Subsequently, they've had a considerable influence on the nation's politics and culture. However, this influence has been a source of tension as other ethnic groups, particularly the Oromos and Tigrayans, fostered a sense of marginalization. The grievances between the Oromo, Tigray, and Amhara ethnic groups have manifested themselves in deeply troubling ways, escalating to violence, ethnic cleansings, and mass atrocities. The situation has reached a critical level since Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed came to power in 2018.